We got a special guest in the studio today, Riley Hansen. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
She's a senior in high school and is with her dad, the marketing guru for the Midwest, digital marketing guru, Matt Hansen. Matt, thanks for bringing Riley here. She helped out a lot in the last episode.
Yeah, well, we're going to get her vocal in this one, but, they always say, I thought it was appropriate, the fact that most small businesses are family businesses. And I like to include my kids in anything that I do. So we had Ryan on last week. We have Riley this week. So I always say that they can always look back and listen to it if they want to later on. But, it's funny how their friends are all asking, when's it on? Can we listen to it on the radio and everything else? So it's
Tell everybody in Australia to listen too. That's our number one country. And thank you down under. I don't know why, but thank you for doing that. Riley is at Lake Central High School in Indiana, and she's getting ready to go to college, choose a college, and she used a spreadsheet mentality to figure out where she wants to go and hopefully become a doctor someday, right?
Yes, that is correct.
I'm telling you, maybe not IU for undergrad, but IU Medical School in Indy it's really nice too. They got right there off of Mass Ave, and they have their own social. I go down to a meeting and I'm like, I'm gonna go see my niece. Oh well, I'm studying, and then we're all meeting over here at one of the bars, and then I don't have any time for you, Uncle Jim. Yeah, that's what you want, and they're all talking cadavers.
She actually finds out. Was it Monday?
Something like that.
I think it's Monday, whether or not she gets into one of the IU med programs.
So you can be a direct admin on that 6-year plan or something like that?
Yeah, it would be, I would go to Purdue for my undergrad, and then I would go to IU Westlaw for my med school.
They have a med school?
They do. They have a satellite campus essentially there. But yeah, she's got some scholarship thing that she's been.
Well, wouldn't it be really nice? Because if you're a professor at Purdue, isn't there like a huge tuition break?
No, there's not.
There's not?
No, we get half off tuition, which, if you know anything about Purdue, is not a drastic thing considering that tuition has been held stable for however many years. I think it's 12 at this point. So it works out to be like $5,000 or something a year.
Wow, that is very surprising. I thought it would be, well, you can go anywhere.
We don't use it, actually.
Why don't you go to like some small private school in Pennsylvania and just build it up to like $90,000 a year, and then your dad will be here doing podcast after podcast with me. Hey, it's episode 130. What small business owners should fix before spending another marketing dollar? Before your small business spends any more money on ads, you need to make sure the basics are working. In this episode of Mastering Local Marketing, we walk through the key things small business owners should fix first, including their offer, messaging, website experience, reviews, conversion path, and follow-up system. If these pieces are weak, paid traffic only exposes the problem faster. This episode is a practical reminder that advertising works best when the foundation underneath it is strong. Fix the leaks first, then scale what is already converting. We are recording this live on AM 1230 and 104.7 FM, and also actually on the TuneIn app. And it is it's opening day of 2026 baseball. And everybody's really happy because in the morning it's supposed to get up to 80 degrees, and then by 6 o'clock it's supposed to be like 45, which was what happened.
Welcome to Chicago.
Yeah, welcome to Chicago. But for some reason, the heat is on. Can one of you guys turn the temperature down and give us a little break?
The devil just walked in.
No, I just turned it up. It's freezing in here.
Oh, you did that.
I turned it up, yeah.
All right, well, it's pretty warm out here. Yeah. Let me hey, you know what? This would really gross everybody out if I just went shirtless and did the show. Walking around, went to Florida in the beach for, 8 days. And it's amazing how many people wear those sun shirts now. Yeah. And my wife's like, why don't you wear one of those? I'm like, well, how do you get any sun then? But
yeah, well, that's the point.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we actually have a few of those as well.
What if you do a meta campaign without tracking?
Oh, there's so many that
95% of people that do it on their own, that's what they do.
Yeah, I've got a couple clients right now that they're just like, just run it, it's fine. And I keep saying that, no, we need to put the tracking mechanisms in there. And, funny enough, I get, we can't. And I go, what do you mean we can't? Well, they've purchased systems. One of them has kind of a CRM system where they drive traffic
Content
over.
resource management.
And, we drive traffic over to it. People sign up for, kind of a scheduler, so to speak. And there's nowhere in this system to put any tracking code. And I go, oh, it's just driving me nuts. So when you run a campaign and you're sending traffic over, like, Meta can't really learn what's going on because it has nothing to go off. It's just throwing traffic and it's not getting the signals back saying that it's working. I've had others that will tell me, no, we can't put that on our website. We only put this code, and that's going to conflict with other things. And I just, okay. I mean, many times what you hear is, I don't want to try and figure out a fix for it, so we're just not going to put it on. And really what's ending up happening when you're doing that is you're spending more than you have to. So something that should cost you, let's call it $5 to get a new customer, is actually probably costing you more like $15 because it's just not learning. So when you put money into advertising and your system is not built to work the way that the advertising platforms are meant to work, you're actually highlighting the problem areas and causing more chaos than you're actually solving.
So let's look at a few of these areas that, are for your clients, and you work with a lot of them. All right. Hey, I want to do billboards, and I want to offer a reduced thing. I want to reduce price on braces. Mm-hmm. And that's all you want to say. It's reduced right now. It's kind of slow. I bought a billboard for 4 months over the summer, and I want to do all the braces and everything for $39.99. That's what they want to say, and they want to drive maybe 4 or 5 clients like that, and that'll be enough to cover the advertising and everything. But then it's down in the lower right of the billboard, and it's like, I thought, there's your picture and saying how great you are, but really what you want is $39.99 for the braces. What do you say to that client?
I think the offer is the number one thing that you have to focus on, right? So you should create an offer that is impossible to say no to. And many of the times that I sit down with my clients and I'm meeting with people, I will not take a single dollar until we have multiple conversations about where you're going, what you're going to do. And the reason that I do that is because I want them to know that I want to understand everything about them before I ever take a dollar from them. I need to know your work ethic. I need to know what you're tracking. I need to know what your plans are. I need to know what your capabilities are, all of these different things. When you're putting all these offers out there, you have to realize that there are other people out there, other people selling braces. So you say $39.95. Is that a discount? Yeah, it seems like a discount to me, right?
It's usually in the 5 to 6 range.
Right.
Yeah.
So, okay. So it's $39.95. My next question becomes, okay, why is it so cheap? Right? What's included with that? We went through braces in our family, right? So Riley can attest to this.
Riley, you have really beautiful teeth.
Thank
and I'm
you.
sure they were very expensive, and that makes me smile.
Oh, thank you.
They were more than $39.95.
Yes.
But when we took advantage of offers that came out, right? So we had 2 different orthodontists that we worked with in our family.
Yes.
I'm not sure where Mom got hers, but I was the only one that didn't have braces in our family. And so we had different orthodontists that we were dealing with, and they were different deals. I remember we saw the deals, and the first one that we dealt with was it was a discounted price, but then they covered every single thing up until like a certain amount of years afterward. Then we had Riley's, and I feel like we paid a little bit more for different things based on things that were happening. So you would break a bracket, and it was included for like the first 2, and then after that, it wasn't included. Right? Do you remember that?
I think I only broke 1 though.
Okay. But you know what I mean? Remember, he was like, oh, well, that's $50 for this. And I'm like, what do you mean? We already paid for this. And he's like,
Yeah.
well, no, it wasn't included. So, it's like, it was a great deal, but then you start to get, like, I actually started getting mad at yours.
Really?
Do you remember that? I was just like, this is crazy. I can't believe I have to pay another $200 for this and $50 for this. But you start to build frustrations in some of that stuff. So your offer has to be really good, but you have to stick by that offer as well, right?
So, clarity.
Yeah.
So, a lot of times, even if somebody were to see that on a billboard, they're going to go to your website and take a look. And that also has to have clarity. How do you create the clear landing page?
Right. So let's say, we see this billboard, $39.95 braces. I go over to the website, and there is no mention of that anywhere on that page. I have no idea. Did I see that right? Do I have to go back and drive by the billboard to get a special phone number for it? Like, what is it that I'm seeing here, right? So I see this all the time where people will build advertising in the digital space and they'll drive traffic back over to a landing page or just to the home page of their website, and you can't find the offer anywhere. And I had one like that a while back where they did red light therapy, which, has become more popular lately, but they were driving traffic back to their homepage. And I said, well, what are you trying to do here? And they said, well, we're trying to fill up the calendar and get people to come in and try it. And I said, well, why don't you create a scheduler instead that drives traffic over, and let's figure that out, right? So we started having these conversations. They weren't getting anyone that were coming in, doing these free trials and all this other stuff. And I said, okay, well, let's try something different. So we created a campaign where it was literally 8 sessions once a week. I think it was like a Thursday. And there were 8 sessions, and the ads started on Thursday. And within like an hour, we had to turn the ads off because they were filled, right? So we sent it over to a scheduler. You could see the available time slots that were open. You could put your name down and you could come in for a free trial, 1 session kind of thing. And honestly, they went for months without getting anyone to come in and try it. And all we did was change the landing page to say, okay, well, here are 8 slots. First come, first go, first. So, like, it was just amazing.
Wow,
like, we would shut them down in 30 minutes because the sessions would be gone. And, I don't want to talk about how, like, it went from there because they put on the hard sales tactics after that. But we solved the problem just by changing the landing page off of it.
All right. So within that, they scheduled, and there was obviously a clear next step, or was it just
so they would get a phone call immediately after that and say, okay, we've got you down for this date, this time. Just want to clarify, we know who's coming in. We have, Matt Hansen. This is your phone number, your email, and they would confirm it, and we say, okay, we'll see you, on that date.
So the next step was clear of,
Right.
you're all right, here, I signed up for this. What do I do now? Click here, and you now enter, whatever information you want, or there's directions to the office or whatever
Right.
it is. So when you talk, we're really getting into something we really haven't talked too much about, and that is lead capture. We're all looking for awareness. We're all looking for leads. That's what you do in a small to medium-sized business. And obviously, I was the worst at getting the lead and capturing the lead. So what would you say to a person like me and like the very busy small business owner who's like, dude, I got these big clients, but I don't know if this one's good, and it's just more than I can handle, and so they almost don't do anything. What do you say to that person?
I would say have a process ready to go, right? So more often than not, I see people bury the lead, right? So it's
Not just in a news story, but in a
Right.
website, in a flyer, or whatever it might be.
I want to get more people reaching out to me, but then I'll put a contact link, a text link at the bottom, and there's no incentive for me to reach out or take advantage of any offers because I just can't see them, right? Like, you bury it. So what we try to do is what we try to say is, what is your goal? Your goal is to get more email addresses. Your goal is to get, you want to sell this type of product, whatever it is. That should be front and center, above the fold. And when I say above the fold, I mean when you scroll on a website, everything below, the screen when you initially come on that website is called below the fold. So we put the offer above the fold, and we want to call it out. And you see a lot of this where people will do pop-ups like sign up and get 20% or whatever, and they're trying to get emails. And that's exactly what we're talking about. But many times with that, what you'll get is they'll collect an email and they'll never do anything with it. They won't reach back out to them. They won't have any automated processes in there. So you're doing half of it right, but you drop the ball halfway through, and now you're just kind of sitting there with things. So what I'm saying is plot it out. I mean, all of you that are listening, go out there and buy a small little whiteboard if you must. Take a little piece of paper and just draw out a flow and say, all right, somebody comes to my website. What do I want them to do? I want them to fill out this form. How am I going to deliver this form? I do it this way. Okay, that information comes into a database. What happens next, right? And again, the digital marketing competition that I run, I sit and I talk with people that run these other competitions that are out there on the collegiate level. They have 20, 30, 40 different people that are helping them put these things on. I'm going to tell you right now, we had almost 300 people enter this thing. I have no staff. I've automated everything. The sign-up process is simple. They sign up on the website. They get the case study immediately after they sign up, right? There's a few emails that go out that are all automated, right? It comes into a database. The message is already there. It's ready to go. It's automated send on a certain date. 1 week before, they get an email that says, hey, by the way, just a reminder, we got 1 week to go. Here are the rules. Don't break any of the rules, right? It's all of this automation stuff. And it makes me look like I'm this massive competition, but it's one person sitting in an office somewhere in a college that's running this thing.
You're like the Wizard of Oz.
Yes, I am the Wizard of Oz.
Holy moly.
Don't look
There you
behind
go.
the curtain. Best comment of the year right there.
That is the best comment. The other best comment your dad makes on a regular basis is, how do you do so much? Well, I know how to say no.
Yeah.
And that is something I'm trying to show to Adriana about a couple of clients that are, don't want to pay or too much attention. I'm like, sometimes just, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
All right. We need to move on. And when you're ready or whatever, or probably may not ever be, but you have to choose what you're going to do.
Yeah.
And that is part of this. Let's go on to this. So really what you're saying in all of this is that you got to follow up.
Yeah. If you don't follow up, what's the point in taking the lead?
Let's take Riley. Riley, you're applying for colleges right now, right?
Yes.
You apply, I think you're main 8 right now or so, and you're looking at 8 different colleges. Have you seen differences? All right, I went to their website, I put in, I might want to go, I want an application. I'm not going through the universal application. I want to know a little bit more. I might even go on a visit. Do you see differences in the follow-up capabilities of each one?
Yeah, one of them I didn't even know I got in. I had to go hunting for it in my email because they didn't send me an email. They just sent me, check your portal, but it wasn't like a big to-do. And then the other ones were sending me like personalized notes from my admissions counselors on how much they liked my application. And it was, I would say there was a difference.
So your dad is looking at the follow-up procedures probably a little more closely than the average parent, is my guess.
Well, here, and not to name names, and we're not going to name names, but we had a mail day, and we received 3 different pieces from 3 different universities that she got in, right?
Yeah,
The first one was a postcard,
this is true.
and just it looked probably like a local agency just slapped it together and sent it. And I went, what is that, right? The next one was a large or oversized envelope with some things in it. And, college kids love stickers.
I love the stickers. That
So-
is the most efficient way to get me is to send me stickers.
And put them on your laptop. That's one of the ways.
Well, yes, exactly. And so we had the postcard, then we have this oversized thing that gives you a sticker, right? But there were fake stickers in there as well, and we're just kind of like, man, they just missed the boat on that, because with all the fake ones, they could have created this mass sticker, like, oh my goodness, look, they sent me 7 stickers instead of 1. I would put those on my laptop. Then the third one comes completely sealed in a gigantic box.
It was huge.
Literally gigantic box. And it became an unboxing like you would do on YouTube, where you had to cut the cellophane, you open it slowly. It had the nice folder. It had,
Did it have a coffee cup or no?
No, but they gave me a hat, so I can't complain.
Same idea.
it was a hat, a sticker, a pin, a pennant,
Yeah.
Hey, can you let your dad wear the hat to hide that awful haircut?
I liked his haircut.
All right, sorry, I had to throw that in.
Yeah.
But so
what we're saying is, like, 3 different pieces there, right? And people are going to notice, like, you're sending out this information and you're competing with other people trying to get the business, right? And this is what we're seeing, is the fact that we were joking that the box itself probably cost them $100 to $150 to produce. But when you think about it, an application fee is what, $80 these days?
Yeah.
So, I mean, think of all the people that you didn't accept. I mean, you're paying for marketing and all that, but it's how you're being treated, even with the messaging that you're getting. So you see a postcard, and I believe the university that you had to go looking for was the postcard. Am I correct?
Yes, this is true.
So you're being treated that way. Then you have this other one that sends you this custom box, and then they send us an email the next day saying, we're going to pay for you to fly out and come see the campus. Where do you think the mindset goes at that point, right? Like, from a marketer standpoint, I have to go look to see if I'm included. You send me a crummy little postcard, and I know you're not going there, so I can say crummy little postcard. But then you have kind of these other, she's got it down to 3, and I'm not going to name names, but like, that's where we are today. And it's how you treat your customers. And it's funny to me to see the differences, and even at a major university, how some get it so right and some get it so wrong.
Yeah.
Can't you just run a ton of ads and just flood the market, and then none of this other stuff will matter?
Sure, but then you get the postcard and you have to go looking for if you're in, and that just doesn't. I mean, let's face it, that's I think it's like a 13-hour drive to go to that one. And are you going to leave home and go 13 hours away to somewhere that doesn't necessarily treat you like some of the other ones are? I don't know.
They gave you a postcard. That's all you got.
Yeah. My top 3 are really nice. They send me emails. Yeah. They can fly me out.
And when it gets really to crunch time, you might get a few personal phone calls if you've given your.
I did get one of those already.
Yeah. I mean, it's competitive now for the best students, which you certainly are. She's Riley Hansen. He's Matt Hansen. We're talking about you as a small business owner or small business marketer. What you need to fix. Sum it up.
Yeah, putting money into ads is not. It is not going to make you look better if your back end, if your processes aren't where they need to be. It's just going to accentuate it. It's going to put a giant spotlight on all the problems that you have. So fix the problems, fix the processes first, and then put the ad dollars out there.
He's Matt Hansen. She is Riley Hansen, and you have one more announcement.
I have one more thing. So I've thrown into the description of the podcast going forward, I've actually put in there, if you sign up for our mailing list, our email mailing list, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start pulling one person from the mailing list every month, and I will give you a free 30-minute consult. So I think, Jim, there's no, I'm not looking for money. I'm just literally looking to get more involved with our listeners and really understand what some of their problems are. So I think it'll really be interesting to kind of bring some of those to the podcast. And I think Jim can attest to what a 30-minute conversation with me can can be, since he does.
Have we had any that were just 30 minutes?
No, and this probably won't be 30 minutes either, to be honest.
Yeah, to be honest, yeah. So I can just attest to that. I went through the MBA program. That's how Matt and I got to know each other. That was, I think, as many as almost 10 years ago when we first met. And I took all the classes, which is over. I thought it was way too much about email, but it turns out that it wasn't, because that's the best return on your investment.
Sorry for teaching you the good things.
Exactly. But Professor Hansen came in and looked at all of our processes, and it was a lot of discussion and a lot of rethinking about it. And really what it, I think, to be straight about it, is it showed all of the mistakes we were making. And you kind of have to be open to that. You can't say, well, this is how I did it. It's a third generation. That's how we're going to do it. But if you really want to learn, this 30-minute consultation could change your life in your business.
Yeah. And like I said, we'll pick one person every single month, and I'll get that scheduled, and we'll sit down and just have a conversation. We'll do it over Zoom, and unless you're local, and I'll come over and we'll check things out.
Thanks a lot to Riley. Is okay?
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks a lot to Matt Hansen. Thanks, of course, always to Adriana Alvarez. She runs the podcast network. If you want to watch this, go to WJOB 1230 on YouTube. Otherwise, just type in Mastering Local Marketing, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you want a podcast, you just email Adriana with 2 N's at WJOB1230.com. Until next time, see you later.